And in a way, that's exactly what happened. But what they couldn't possibly have imagined from their damp corner of the globe is the sheer, bewildering variety packed into this slab of Australia. It is a place where you can start your day with a coffee so good it could make a grown man weep, in a city so dazzling it seems to have been buffed to a high shine, and end it in a mountain range so ancient and vast it makes you feel like a speck of dust. It is, in short, a land of the most extraordinary and delightful contradictions. Here is a state that contains more people than all of Norway, yet possesses tracts of wilderness so empty you could shout at the top of your lungs, and the only thing to hear you would be a bemused wallaby. One minute you're navigating the thrumming, multicultural streets of Sydney, a place that feels like the vibrant, energetic centre of the universe. The next, you're standing on a cliff edge, looking out over a valley cloaked in a blue haze of eucalyptus vapour, a sight that hasn't changed much in a few million years. This constant whiplash-inducing shift from the intensely modern to the profoundly ancient is the very essence of New South Wales. It's a place that keeps you on your toes, always guessing, always marvelling. The state is a geographical grab bag of epic proportions. It has alpine regions that get a proper dumping of snow, subtropical rainforests that drip with life, and semi-arid plains that stretch out to a heat-shimmering horizon. And then there's the coast. Oh, the coast. A seemingly endless ribbon of golden sand, punctuated by dramatic headlands and sleepy fishing villages, where the Pacific Ocean crashes and sighs in a relentless, hypnotic rhythm. It's this sheer diversity that is so captivating. You could spend a lifetime exploring New South Wales and feel as though you've only just scratched the surface, which is a rather wonderful and humbling thought. This essay is an attempt, likely a fumbling one, to get a handle on this remarkable place. We will wander through its famous city, get sand between our toes on its iconic beaches, and venture into the great, mysterious interior. We'll meet the people who call it home, from the city slickers with their fast-paced lives, to the country folk with their laconic charm. It's a journey into a corner of the world that is at once familiar, thanks to all those postcards, and yet endlessly, wonderfully surprising. So grab a hat and a bottle of water. It's going to be quite an adventure. You come over a rise or round a bend, and suddenly, there it is, the harbour. It's not just a body of water, it's a vast, sprawling, impossibly blue stage on which the city performs its daily drama. Ferries, like busy water beetles, scurry between coves, sailboats with their crisp white sails lean into the wind, and all of it happens under the watchful gaze of two of the most recognisable structures ever built by humans, the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House. The Sydney Opera House is just one of those things. You've seen it a million times in pictures, but seeing it in person is something else entirely. It doesn't look like a building so much as a magnificent piece of sculpture, or perhaps a flock of giant, petrified seabirds about to take flight. It's utterly bonkers and utterly beautiful. Then you have the Harbour Bridge, its great steel arch like a colossal coat hanger flung across the water. Locals, in their typically understated way, just call it the coat hanger. There's something wonderfully Australian about giving such a monumental feat of engineering such a mundane nickname. It speaks to a national character that refuses to get too carried away with itself. But Sydney is so much more than its two most famous landmarks. It's a city of hidden laneways, historic pubs and sprawling parks. You can explore the Rocks, the oldest part of the city, where the cobblestone streets whisper tales of convicts and sailors. The sense of history here is palpable, a stark contrast to the gleaming skyscrapers of the central business district just a stone's throw away. It's this layering of old and new that gives the city its character. One moment you're in a museum looking at First Fleet artefacts, the next you're in a rooftop bar sipping a cocktail with a view that would make a king jealous. The city's soul, however, is found in its people. It is a dizzyingly multicultural place, a testament to waves of immigration that have shaped its identity. Wander through Haymarket, and you're in a bustling corner of Asia, with the smells of yumcha and pho hanging in the air. Head to Leichhardt, and you'll find the heart of Little Italy, where the coffee is strong and the pasta is authentic. This diversity isn't just tolerated, it's celebrated. It's in the food, the festivals, the languages you hear on the train. Sydney is a truly global city that has somehow managed to retain a relaxed, uniquely Australian vibe. Sydney-siders, as the locals are called, have an almost pathological need to be outside. If the sun is shining, which it often is, offices seem to empty out and the city's parks, beaches and waterways fill up with people. They treat their city like a giant playground, and frankly, who can blame them? It's a place that practically begs you to come out and play. The day often starts early. Before the city buzzes to life, you'll see them. Joggers pounding the pavement along the harbour's edge, kayakers slicing through the calm morning water, and surfers already out at Bondi, catching the first waves of the day. This isn't just for the super fit. It's for everyone. I once saw a man in a full business suit, briefcase and all, standing on a paddleboard. He was commuting. I'm not even joking. There's a pervasive sense that life is something to be lived to the fullest, and that sitting indoors is a terrible waste of a perfectly good day. This attitude is infectious and utterly delightful. And then there is the food. Oh, the food. Sydney's dining scene is a direct reflection of its cultural melting pot, and it is glorious. The concept of brunch is not just a meal here, it's a weekend institution. An almost religious ritual involving perfectly poached eggs, smashed avocado on sourdough toast, and coffee that is taken very, very seriously. In the evenings, the options are endless. You can dine on world-class cuisine in a fancy restaurant overlooking the harbour, or you can grab fish and chips wrapped in paper and eat them on the beach with your toes in the sand. Both are considered equally valid and equally wonderful experiences. This lifestyle is built around the city's stunning geography. The harbour isn't just something to look at, it's the city's backyard pool. On weekends, families and friends pack onto ferries and head to secluded beaches within the harbour itself, like Shark Beach or Milk Beach, places that feel a million miles from the urban hustle. They'll have a barbie, the quintessential Australian barbecue, swim in the netted enclosures, and just relax. It's a simple, unpretentious way of life that is deeply connected to the water. It's this seamless integration of urban living and natural beauty that makes the Sydney lifestyle so incredibly appealing. It's a kilometre-long crescent of fine, pale gold sand that gets pummeled by the kind of surf that makes surfers' eyes light up. It's a place of beautiful people, of health-conscious cafes, of backpackers from every corner of the globe ticking off a bucket list item. It can be overwhelming, noisy, and ridiculously crowded, but my word, it is also magnificent. The first thing that strikes you is the sheer energy of the place. It's a constant carnival of activity. At one end, serious surfers carve up the waves with an effortless grace that is hypnotic to watch. In the middle, tourists from colder climes, looking a bit like lobsters in training, splash about in the shallows. At the other end, families play in the calmer waters of the North Bondi rock pool, and patrolling it all are the Bondi lifeguards, bronzed and impossibly fit, who have become television stars in their own right. The whole scene is a vibrant, sun-drenched spectacle of Australian beach culture at its most concentrated. But to really get a feel for the place, you have to do the Bondi to Coogee coastal walk. This is, without exaggeration, one of the greatest suburban walks on the planet. The path clings to the cliff tops, offering one jaw-dropping view after another. You pass by Tamarama and Bronte beaches, each with its own distinct personality, and past the historic Waverley Cemetery, which must have the best view of any cemetery in the world. People of all ages and fitness levels stroll, jog, and power walk along this trail, stopping to take photos or just to gaze out at the vast, mesmerizing expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Beyond the sand and the surf, a unique culture has sprung up in the streets behind the beach. What was once a fairly humble, working-class suburb has transformed into a trendy hub of fashion boutiques, art galleries, and some of Sydney's best cafes and restaurants. You can get a green smoothie that probably costs more than a 3-course meal in other parts of the world, but it will be an exceptionally good green smoothie. It's a place that perfectly captures the modern Australian obsession with health, wellness, and looking good, all while maintaining a laid-back, barefoot is acceptable vibe. Bondi is a paradox, and that's precisely why it's so fascinating. They aren't mountains in the sharp, pointy alpine sense. They are, in fact, a deeply eroded sandstone plateau, a vast wilderness of plunging valleys, sheer cliffs, and dense eucalyptus forest that stretches for as far as the eye can see. The blue in their name comes from the fine mist of oil released by the millions upon millions of eucalyptus trees, which refracts light and cloaks the entire landscape in a soft, ethereal blue haze. It's honestly a sight that stills the mind and stirs the soul. The most famous landmark here is the Three Sisters, a trio of weathered sandstone peaks that stand sentinel over the Jameson Valley. Standing at the Echo Point lookout, gazing at this incredible rock formation, you can really feel the immense scale and antiquity of the landscape. It's a humbling experience. You are looking at geology that is hundreds of millions of years old, a world that existed long before humans, and will likely exist long after we are gone. The air is different up here, cleaner, crisper, and scented with the unmistakable fragrance of the Australian bush. The Blue Mountains are a paradise for anyone who enjoys putting one foot in front of the other. There are hundreds of kilometres of walking tracks, catering to everyone from casual strollers to serious hikers. You can take a gentle walk along the cliff tops, with spectacular views at every turn, or you can descend into the valleys on steep, historic staircases like the Giant Stairway. Down in the valley floor, you are in another world. The temperature drops, the light becomes dappled, and you are surrounded by lush ferns, trickling waterfalls, and the calls of native birds like the lyrebird, a master of mimicry. The area is also dotted with charming little towns like Katoomba and Laura, which have a slightly old-fashioned mountain resort feel. They are filled with cosy guest houses, antique shops, and cafes with crackling fireplaces in winter. It's the perfect place to retreat from the city, to slow down, and to reconnect with the natural world. I remember sitting in a Laura cafe with a pot of tea and a scone, just watching the mist roll in over the valley. It felt like a different country, a different era. The Blue Mountains are a powerful reminder of the wild, untamed beauty that lies just beyond the city limits. To truly understand New South Wales, you must look beyond the colonial history, beyond the shiny skyscrapers and charming country towns, and listen to the deeper story of the land. This is a place that has been home to Aboriginal peoples for at least 60,000 years, making theirs the oldest living culture on Earth. Their connection to this land is not one of ownership in the Western sense, but of a profound spiritual custodianship. Every rock, river, and mountain has a story, a meaning, a place in the intricate tapestry of the dreaming. This ancient heritage is the bedrock upon which all of modern New South Wales is built. In the Sydney Basin alone, the land of the Eora, Gadigal, and other clans, there are thousands of recorded Aboriginal sites. You can find them in the most unexpected places. Tucked away on coastal headlands or hidden in the bushland of national parks are rock engravings, known as petroglyphs, depicting animals, human figures, and spiritual beings. These are not museum pieces behind glass. They are part of the living landscape, exposed to the elements, a quiet but powerful testament to millennia of human presence. Seeing a carving of a whale on a sandstone rock platform, knowing it was created thousands of years ago, is an experience that connects you to a truly deep time. This heritage is not just a relic of the past, it is a living, breathing culture. Across the state, Aboriginal communities are working to preserve and share their traditions, language, and knowledge. You can take guided tours with Aboriginal guides who will show you how to find bush tucker, explain the medicinal properties of native plants, and share the dreamtime stories that bring the landscape to life. In places like the Blue Mountains, you can hear the story of the Three Sisters from the perspective of the Gundungurra people, which adds a whole new layer of meaning to the spectacular view. It's an opportunity to see the land through a different, much older pair of eyes. Acknowledging and respecting this Indigenous heritage is a vital part of the modern Australian experience. It involves confronting the difficult history of colonisation and its devastating impact on Aboriginal peoples, a history that is still being reckoned with today. But it also involves celebrating the resilience, wisdom, and enduring spirit of the world's oldest culture. When you travel through New South Wales, from the coast to the outback, you are travelling through country that has been loved and cared for tens of thousands of years. Taking the time to learn even a small part of that story enriches the journey immeasurably. This is Australia's oldest wine-growing region, and it is a place dedicated to the good things in life. As you drive into the valley, the landscape softens into rolling green hills, neatly striped with endless rows of grapevines. Historic wineries with grand old buildings stand alongside sleek modern cellar doors, all of them offering a warm welcome and, more importantly, a tasting of their wares. It is a landscape that promises indulgence, and it does not disappoint. The star of the show here is the Semillon grape, which in the Hunter Valley produces a wine that is unique in the world. When it's young, it's crisp, zesty, and refreshing. But if you have the patience to let it age, it transforms into something magical. A rich, complex, toasty wine with an incredible depth of flavour. The other local hero is Shiraz, which produces a medium-bodied, savoury red. Visiting a cellar door is the quintessential Hunter experience. You stand at a counter, and a friendly, knowledgeable person pours you small amounts of different wines, telling you the story behind each one. It's a wonderfully civilized way to spend an afternoon. But the Hunter is not just about wine. In recent decades, it has become a major gourmet destination. The region is teeming with artisan producers making everything from cheese and olive oil to chocolate and charcuterie. You can spend a day hopping from one producer to another, tasting as you go, assembling the ingredients for the world's most decadent picnic. Many of the wineries now have their own high-end restaurants, where talented chefs create exquisite dishes designed to complement the local wines. It's a place where you can quite happily plan your entire day around what you are going to eat and drink next. Beyond the food and wine, the Hunter Valley has a gentle, bucolic charm. Hot air balloons drift across the valley in the soft light of dawn, offering a breathtaking perspective on the patchwork of vineyards and fields. There are beautiful gardens to wander through, golf courses to play on, and spas to relax in. It's a place to slow down, to savour, to indulge the senses. It represents a different side of the New South Wales lifestyle, one that is less about adrenaline-pumping adventure and more about quiet, sophisticated pleasure. It's the perfect antidote to the hectic pace of city life. The state is a rich tapestry woven from historic country towns, dramatic coastlines, and vast agricultural plains. To really get a sense of the place, you have to hit the road. Driving through regional New South Wales is to travel back in time, to a landscape that feels more spacious, more settled, and where the pace of life is dictated by the seasons rather than by the clock. Each town has its own story, its own unique charm. Head south from Sydney, and you'll find the stunning Grand Pacific Drive, a road that seems to defy gravity as it sweeps out over the ocean on the famous Seacliff Bridge. The coastline here is a string of pearls, sleepy seaside towns, pristine beaches, and world-class surf breaks. Further down you reach the Sapphire Coast, named for the brilliant blue of its waters. Here, towns like Merimbula and Eden retain the feel of old-fashioned fishing villages, and the region is famous for its oysters, which you can eat fresh from the estuary. It's a part of the state that feels wonderfully unspoiled and deeply relaxing. Go north and the vibe changes again. The coast becomes more subtropical, the beaches longer and whiter. You'll find towns like Byron Bay, which has grown from a hippie surf town into a global hotspot for wellness and alternative lifestyles, though it still retains a bohemian spirit. Further inland, you find the Rainbow region, a lush green hinterland of rolling hills, ancient rainforests, and quirky villages like Nimbin. This area, known as the Northern Rivers, is a hub of creativity, organic farming, and a strong sense of community. It feels a world away from the buttoned-up seriousness of Sydney. Then there is the country proper. Towns like Orange, Mudgee, and Armidale in the Central West and New England regions are hubs of agriculture and history. They boast grand colonial architecture, beautiful parks, and a burgeoning food and wine scene that could give the Hunter Valley a run for its money. Life here is slower, the people are friendly, and there is a powerful sense of connection to the land. Exploring these regional pockets of New South Wales reveals the true diversity of the state, a place far more complex and interesting than just its famous capital city. It's a supermodel of a city, all glamour and sparkle, wrapped around a harbour of impossible beauty. It's a surfer, tanned and relaxed, scanning the horizon for the perfect wave on a sun-drenched beach. It is an ancient, misty mountain range that holds the secrets of millennia in its silent valleys. It's a winemaker, checking the grapes in the golden light of a Hunter Valley afternoon. It is a land that is simultaneously brand new and unimaginably old, a place of startling energy and profound tranquility. The sheer variety of experiences on offer is staggering. In a single trip, you can climb the Sydney Harbour Bridge, hike through a World Heritage-listed wilderness, taste world-class wines at the cellar door, and learn about the planet's oldest living culture from a First Nations guide. You can swim in the Pacific Ocean in the morning and be sipping a hot chocolate by a fireplace in a mountain town by evening. This is not an exaggeration. It is the reality of this wonderfully compact and diverse state. It caters to every whim, every interest, every pace of life. Perhaps the most enduring quality of New South Wales is its sense of possibility. It feels like a place where anything can happen, where adventure is always just around the corner. It invites you to be active, to get outdoors, to try something new. It encourages you to be curious, to look beyond the obvious, to explore the hidden corners and listen to the quiet stories. It's a place that gets under your skin and stays with you long after you've left, leaving you with a collection of vivid memories. The taste of salt on your lips, the scent of eucalyptus in the air, the stunning sight of the sun setting over the harbour. Ultimately, New South Wales extends an open and irresistible invitation. It asks you to come and see for yourself, to wander its vibrant city streets, to feel the sand between your toes on its endless beaches, to stand in awe of its ancient landscapes, and to meet the people who call this extraordinary corner of the world home. It is a place of wonder, of contrast, and of life lived to the full. And believe me, it is an invitation you should most definitely accept. You won't be disappointed.